Hey guys, Nicole here from Trouble Bar. We are on day 3 of shutdown orders, and honestly, we miss you guys. So Caitlin and I were thinking about a couple ways we could stay in touch with y'all, drink some virtual whiskey with you. And so we wanted to do a couple little cocktail demos over the next few weeks as we kind of navigate through what this means for everybody. We miss y'all so much. And I thought I would start out with making your own at-home old-fashioned. We get a lot of questions here about how we make our homemade Demerara syrup. An old-fashioned is really just sugar, bitters, and whiskey. So let's start with the sugar part. We use raw sugar here. You can kind of see, sugar in the raw. And we use a 1-to-2 ratio. Sugar in the raw can have a really intense flavor. So if you have some of this stuff at home, just use, a half cup sugar, full cup hot water. And if you just stir it for a few minutes, you'll see all the sugar dissolve. And honestly, I tell people this all the time, you can make anything into a syrup. So if you have some jams at home, some honey at home, anything that is sweet that can be pretty much thinned out by water, you can turn into a syrup. So if you're like me and you're currently, doing inventory on your fridge and thinking, what am I going to do with all this jam and honey and stuff that I haven't used in a long time, just throw some water into it and turn it into a syrup. The next thing that we're going to need are bitters. So I've grabbed a few really fun bitters for you all that we use here. And if you want to get funky, if you can get to a liquor store, if you don't have bitters at home or you just have, kind of the basic ones, I really love this brand, Fee Brothers, for the crazy flavors. So this is a black walnut. This is an Aztec chocolate. Fee Brothers just makes a really robust flavor of bitters, but you can really use whatever you want, whatever your heart desires. Especially if you're using a more basic syrup, you don't need to go crazy with your bitters. Here at Trouble, we use a combination of Angostura and Reagan's. I really like these because the orange is super floral, adds a really nice lift to the heaviness of the syrup, and Angostura is just that bitter note that you're looking for in any sort of cocktail with bitter. And last but not least, let's talk a little bit about whiskey. With so many of us home and possibly on adjusted budgets, I tried to pull some of my favorite budget whiskeys for you all that you might not be as familiar with. So today we're going to work with Old Bardstown Bottled and Bond. This is a 100 proof whiskey from Willet. It is at least 4 years old, as stated in the Bottled and Bond statement back there. I think you guys might be able to see that. I love this whiskey for lots of cocktails. It is super basic. It is very affordable. You can always almost find it at Kroger. If you do have a drive-through liquor store or liquor delivery, go for it. And then in terms of the old guard, Buffalo Trace is my best, bang for the buck. And I love Makers, especially if you are maybe quarantining with somebody who doesn't drink a ton of whiskey. Maker's Mark is just a softer option, made with red winter wheat, so you can kind of it just makes a delicious but softer cocktail. So again, like I said, today I'm gonna work with Old Bardstown, but use whatever you guys want at home. So I realize that not everybody has Yari crystal mixing glasses at home. So when I do these demos, I'm going to try and not use anything too complex from the bar. I'm also working like in the bar room, not behind the bar. So hopefully this is, we're making cocktails kind of how you would be doing, which is like essentially in your kitchen or on your couch while you're watching Netflix, depending on, you know, what day of the quarantine you're watching this. So you do not need a lot of fancy things to make great cocktails at home. So just a regular old glass. I have a cocktail spoon. You saw me stirring the sugar with it. But honestly, if you're desperate, if you don't have a cocktail spoon at home, you can use a butter knife. Anything that essentially will get down to the bottom and let you kind of drag it around the bottom of the glass, as opposed to, you know, kind of dinging it around. It doesn't really matter. Don't overthink it. You're literally making cocktails while we're on a nationwide quarantine. Like, there are certain things in life we don't have to take too seriously. Home cocktails is one of them. So the first thing we're going to add is our whiskey. Now, people have a lot of feelings about what you add first, what you add last. But again, you know, hashtag quarantine mood. But do whatever you want. If you don't have a really simple jigger at home, you can use your measuring cups. You can use the finger method. So we're going to put 2 ounces in here. And basically the ratio that we use here at Trouble is 2 ounces of whiskey and a 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. So if you don't have a way to measure ounces at home, 2 fingers is going to be just about 2 ounces. I think you can probably see that. And then we're going to add a 1/2 ounce of our house-made dim. Which should, if I did it right, bring it to a pinky and 2 fingers. See that? Yeah. Then we're going to add some bitters. Again, I'm just using the classic recipe. I'm a real light shaker, so I just kind of do that. I count to 2 for each of my bitters. Again, you know, don't take yourself too seriously. You know, you can do this while watching your favorite TV show. I'm currently watching The Great British Bake Off in every season I can get my hands on. And we're just going to add some ice. And one of the cool things about making a cocktail not in the Yari glass is that you can actually kind of see the texture here. So I'm going to get the spoon all the way down to the bottom. It is touching the bottom. And then you're just going to push it. And it's all in the wrists. And essentially what you're looking for is the top of your liquid to have risen just a little bit. That means that it is perfectly diluted and you're ready to roll. This is looking good. And there are lots of ways to strain a drink into a glass, but I'm just gonna go just like that because, you know, in these trying times, I don't want to waste ice. You can garnish this with an orange peel or whatever you like, but cheers, you guys. It's a weird, hard time out there, so be strong and be well, and know that your Trouble family misses you a whole bunch, but your Trouble family also advises you to not drink crappy things while you can't go out to bars. So cheers to you, and cheers to your new house old fashioned.